Have you ever wondered what it would be like to run a coffee shop in a world where the rain never seems to stop, the customers are fantasy characters and the espresso machine never cools down? No? Well, tough titties, because that's the game we're going to be talking about today, Coffee Talk. The music is low and the lighting is soft. Outside, the world is chaotic, but in here, time slows down. From the very first screen, you're wrapped in this sense of comfort. The rain outside creates a soft, constant rhythm, not overwhelming, just enough to settle your brain like white noise for the soul. Combine that with the lo-fi soundtrack full of mellow beats and jazzy undertones, and suddenly you're not just playing a game, you're existing within a space. It feels intentional. The way everything slows down, there's no minimap, no quest markers, no pressure, just the coffee shop, a warm light, and whatever stories happen to find their way through the door that night. Even the user interface leans into that vibe. It's clean, minimal, even a little retro. It doesn't fight for your attention, it simply gives you what you need. A few ingredients, a brewing station, and a notebook filled with character profiles and drink recipes. No pings, no flashy notifications, just the essentials. Every time you make a drink, the process is slow and deliberate. Click to choose your ingredients. Listen to the sound of the milk steaming, the liquid pouring into the cup. There's a subtle ASMR quality to it all. And it's not just satisfying, it's grounding. The space itself, this little corner cafe open only at night, is probably the coziest fictional setting I've ever stepped into. It's a place that exists entirely outside the pressure of the real world, like it was made for introverts, creatives, and quiet souls just trying to make sense of things. Even time feels different in Coffee Talk. Each night unfolds like a chapter in a storybook, and as the nights go by, the environment never changes, but somehow it never feels static. The subtle shift in the lighting, the weather, even the playlist, it's enough to keep things feeling a little bit fresh, while still holding on to that same warm core. It's a masterclass in tone setting, in making a world that doesn't shout for your attention, but still manages to hold it completely. It doesn't try to stimulate you, it tries to soothe you, and that's something games rarely do these days. In a way, the shop becomes more than a setting, it becomes a character, one that welcomes you with open arms every time you step inside. On the surface, Coffee Talk doesn't give you much to do. There's no combat, no skill tree, no inventory management, just you, a handful of ingredients, and a very patient espresso machine. You might think that sounds boring, but in practice, it's actually kind of brilliant. Each drink order is a relatively small puzzle. Sometimes customers are specific. I'll take a green tea latte. Easy, but more often they're pretty vague, like give me something warm and sweet, or I need a pick-me-up that'll calm me down. You're not just playing barista, you're playing therapist, mood reader, emotional translator. You're not asked to optimize, you're asked to understand. And when you get it right, when you nail the perfect blend of ingredients and they smile, relax, and open up a bit more, that tiny moment of feedback feels genuinely rewarding. It's not about points, it's about people. Even the optional latte art feature reflects this. It doesn't serve any mechanical purpose, it's there for expression. A little space to slow down and get creative, even if your art ends up looking like a blob with self-esteem issues. I was absolutely terrible at it, but alas, it's there if you want to experiment. But that's kind of the point. Coffee Talk doesn't punish you for failing, it encourages experimentation, even if you don't get it right. Serving the wrong drinks might change how a character responds, but it never locks you out of the story. That pressure-free design reinforces what this game is really about. Connection over perfection. You're not shaping the story like a traditional narrative game, you're just nudging it, influencing tone, building trust, one warm drink at a time. Your progress isn't measured in levels or achievements, it's in the way people open up to you, the way their profiles fill in with little personal details, a favourite drink, a hidden fear, a bit of backstory that they hadn't shared before. Over time, these customers become more familiar. Their stories continue, slowly unfolding across nights, like regulars at a real cafe, and that's where the simplicity becomes its strength. The minimal gameplay systems are designed to get out of the way, so you can focus on what actually matters, being present, being thoughtful, and being kind. In a gaming landscape full of noise and overcomplication, Coffee Talk is a quiet reminder that less can be so much more. The world outside this little shop is full of fantasy creatures, vampires, orcs, succubi, elves, but unlike most fantasy games, there's no epic quest, no world-ending threat. These characters are just living. They struggle with jobs, with love, with societal expectations, and even though they're not human, their problems are deeply, painfully human. Take Lua and Bailey's, a succubus and an elf trying to navigate an interracial relationship, while facing pressure from their families. These aren't just tropes, they're stories that reflect real life, wrapped in just enough fantasy to let us see them more clearly. There's a certain kind of writing that doesn't try to impress you. It doesn't go out of its way to sound clever, it doesn't lean on exposition or dramatic twists. It just sits down across from you like an old friend and starting to talk. That's the kind of writing that Coffee Talk gives you. It's not loud, it's not cinematic, but it's incredibly human. Characters in Coffee Talk speak the way people do after midnight. When the day is over, the masks are off, and the truth starts to slip out between the cracks of small talk. The game trusts you to sit with those moments, to pick up on the subtext. You're not told what to feel, you're given space to feel it. Freya isn't just the writer, she's a bundle of ambition, burnout and caffeine dependency. You get to know her not through exposition, but through the way she talks about her draft, the way she vents, the way she doubts herself, then immediately covers it with a joke. Even the fantastical characters have relatable problems, anger issues, broken relationships, but their personalities aren't flattened by allegory. They're individuals first, metaphors second. You learn about their lives in fragments, not through monologues but through repetition, through offhand comments that get deeper the more you listen. There's a rhythm to it, like real relationships. And here's something interesting. You don't really speak that much. The player character has few voice lines, no visible dialogue tree. You specifically don't choose what you say at any point. But yet everybody always talks to you, they open up and they keep coming back. That's because Coffee Talk does something quietly radical in the world of video game narratives. It puts the power in being present, not in controlling the outcome. You're not manipulating conversations, you're not choosing between good and bad responses. You're simply there, listening, remembering, making drinks that show you care. And that's what makes the writing hit so hard. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's intimate, because you, the barista, make people feel safe enough to be vulnerable. It's not just dialogue, it's trust, unfolding line by line. So why does this all work? Why does something so simple, a visual novel about serving coffee to mythical creatures, end up feeling so deeply personal? It's because Coffee Talk creates something that's surprisingly rare in games, a true safe space. In most games you're pushed to act, to react, to achieve, but here you're asked to listen, to sit with discomfort, to make space for others without demanding anything in return. And in doing that, the game becomes an emotional mirror, not because it's trying to teach a lesson or force an outcome, but because it trusts that the quietest stories are often the most powerful. It's not about saving the world, it's about saving a moment, about giving someone a reason to keep going, even if that someone is just a character made of pixels and good writing. And maybe that's the whole point. In a medium dominated by high scores and boss fights, Coffee Talk reminds us that empathy can be gameplay, that maybe, just maybe, being kind is enough. So no, you won't believe what happens in this coffee shop, because it's not about what happens on the screen, it's about what happens in you. It's the feeling of slowing down, of finding peace in routine, of hearing someone out and realising their story isn't so different from yours after all. That's the magic of Coffee Talk. Not the fantasy, not the drinks, not even the dialogue, it's the space it creates. Quiet, warm and full of heart, and sometimes that's all we really need. Thank you for spending time in the cafe. If this resonated with you, then consider leaving a like, as it really does help, and possibly subscribing, as we are trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I upload at least one video a week, but for now that is all. Have a nice day, and goodbye.